Whenever you're ready. Oh, me too.
Hello, my
Now
friends.
let's press record.
I would
Hello,
like
Olia.
I would like to welcome Ivan Martin to our show. I would like to give
Yeah.
him very little introduction, if you don't mind, because one phrase on your
Okay.
website I really loved. So I would like to give it to
Go
our
ahead. You feel free.
viewers.
Yeah. Thank you.
His phrase, his favorite saying, I guess, would be, "Your curiosity is your multipath. Keep it on." I really love that. So, Ivan,
Curiosity. Yeah.
yes, curiosity is the key. So, this
Yeah.
is my favorite.
Cool.
So, and your amazing story, you probably better if you tell us by yourself. You can start from the
The
childhood,
story, like
please. Yes, your story. How you were
really.
born in New
Okay.
Zealand. This is interesting. We are New Zealanders
Is
here.
it?
Yes,
Uh, really? Okay. Okay. So if I have to talk about me, then can I say something before, please? Just
yes, of
like
course. Go for it.
cool. Because I didn't expect to talk about me. And what I mean the environment of your welcoming here and the space that you have proposed to address, the subject that you have proposed to address, I believe is about happiness, like more
This
or
is true.
less.
This
And
is true.
I'm very interested actually to talk about that. But before we go more into details or more into the topic, I think most of what kept me out of happiness for for many years, was the interest of myself. The interest, my self-interest, the interest of what I have done, particularly, not even what I will do, which might be a bit more freeing, but what I have done. So if I have to talk about what I have done, then maybe I could propose you to, as you're listening, um, considering what you have done in the same time, and to try to see how it would feel for you if you acknowledge what you have done as a gift, whatever you have, whatever idea you have about it, acknowledge whatever choices you've made in the past as the good ones, the ones that brought you here, and furthermore to where you actually desire to go. And from this acknowledgement to just choose to, okay, so now that's done. I have received from the past the things that I didn't receive at this time because I was not acknowledging, because I was not, I didn't have any gratitude for anything, because I was fighting, because I was resisting, because I was in the idea of me. But now, as I will say my story as shortly as I can, please acknowledge yours and just ask yourself, what could you receive now from your past that you had not received before? And once this is done, just let it behind you and be curious. As you said earlier, be curious about what you could discover now. Because the past doesn't actually have any interest except the capacity to receive now in the present what you didn't dare, or what you were not able to, or what you were not, let's say, disposed to receive at that time. So if that makes sense for anyone, please consider that as you're listening to my story, that I will make short if I can. But story has not much meaning nor interest for me, actually. So
It is for
does it make
us.
sense for you, Olia, what I
It
just
makes
said?
sense for sure. It makes sense for
Okay, cool,
sure.
cool.
But just even a little bit of your story, because even reading it,
Yeah,
some terminology I didn't understand. I had to go to Google and check. you studied,
really?
you studied for 7 years a science which I never heard the name of. Relationship and
Yeah,
how people
yeah,
understand life,
yeah.
philosophy. Yeah.
Well, okay,
Okay.
yeah, well, so I was born in New Zealand, but I'm not a true Kiwi because I left New Zealand when I was 2 years old, and I'm really shameful to say I never get back there. I never had the chance. I went very closely, actually. on the islands just nearby, but I never really get back there. I didn't find the, you know, the purpose to go there, but I'm still looking for it. And so I went in France, and I grew up in France mainly, and in other little countries around Europe. So I'm a bit of a traveler. I've been traveling a lot. But what's interesting about my journey is that I've been doing many different things, like a lot of different things, and every time I've been pushing them until I I had an experience of success with them. So I started with the arts, like the music, the theater, then the cinema, then those kind of, arts, then the martial arts also alongside, and teaching also those things after a while. So I started to teach, to receive people, to train them in those arts. And then at one point, I decided to get more involved into my interest for consciousness, for awareness, for the possibilities on that earth that I didn't actually see around me. I was not satisfied with what I saw between people's, the relationships, the families, the works. I was just seeing people unhappy and satisfied, and I did believe, I did know in my deeps that something else was possible there, that we shouldn't have this experience of suffering. For me, life was not about suffering and getting rid of suffering. It was about living and experiencing what you came here to experience, what you desire to experience, not suffering, but pleasure, happiness, joy. So I said, okay, so what can I do for that? And what I found at this time, I was 25 years old, was to become a monk, a Buddhist monk, and to get into completely into it, not going into like some kind of monasteries and being occupied by things, but really getting into what we call long-term retreat, like meditating and receiving teachings from great teachers for years and years. And it took me like 6 years of retreat, and I've been monk for 7 years. And after 7 years, I said, okay, so now that's not enough for me. I want more. I want to get back or get forward to contacting people, being with them, being in the relation possibilities, and see what is possible now, and bring some more space in the relations, so that we have a bit of hope and inspiration and pleasure together. So I've been studying more after that, how you get into relationship. I became a professional mediator, how you resolve conflicts. I've been working with this, and I've been studying a few different things for accompanying people and healing also, because we have actually healing capacities. Our bodies have that. So I've been interested in that. And like 5 years ago, I discovered something, and a different tool, different accesses to possibilities, that is called Access Consciousness. And you will have Dr. Dane here talking about that, who is the co-creator of Access Consciousness. And this is something wonderful, because this is tools that you can use or not as you like, and it's completely like independent of any belief or any, tradition or whatever. So it gave me a lot of freedom, and I could acknowledge how much capacities I have, and how much capacities I could allow others to acknowledge they do have. And this has been really fascinating for me. And so now it's about 15 years I'm accompanying people, and it's about 5 years I'm accompanying them with those tools all around the world. And this is wonderful. This makes my day every day, because now I don't doubt about what I know. I can acknowledge what I know, because every day I'm curious about what else I could discover today, about me, about others, about the world, about what we know, and most particularly about what we are capable to change together. And so, as to conclude with this, and to make a link with what I started with, I really believe that every trouble we have, every suffering we have, every lack of something, come from the concentration on oneself and on one's problems and difficulties. So this is the first thing that I like to address. What it's like condensed like this. What would be different if we would open to more of what we perceive and what we know than just oneself? Is the first thing. And I know you know that. But what I like to address in this, if you want to talk about this, Olia, is the practical aspect of it.
Yes, it's exactly what I want to talk about. Exactly this.
Okay.
Remember, it was fingertip tools. That's what I would love to hear from you. Fingertip.
What is that? Yeah.
Fingertip
Fingertip tools. Yeah,
How
exactly.
to change something in an instant. This is what I'm after. I would like to put them all together from all of you.
Yeah, exactly.
And give it as a gift to our listeners.
Things change.
Yes.
Yeah, every time you acknowledge what it's a gift for others anyway. If you try to already completely define and identify what you want to say, and you just repeat your story, it might not be that of a contribution for others. But if you're willing to discover at the time you want to express yourself what you know at this time that you didn't know at the instant before, then it will be a contribution. So that's actually a tip-top tool. Anyway, it's very intense when you get present. So what you have to do, and this is also a tool, practical one, just make some more space. Make some more space.
And how you do it? Just doing this?
More space. It's a choice. This is just a choice. This is just like space is part of you. You just have to consider. Well, what is around me? Oh, I'm interested. What is around my body? Just okay. So that's for the technical aspect that will help it. Now, you want to change things instantaneously?
Yes.
Well, do you have to do something for that?
I can give you one idea what I would do. Yes. I learned something from monks.
Yeah, but my point of view is if you want to do something to change something, you might miss the possible change that was there. And you might put yourself in a situation of wanting to control the change itself in order to get a result that you have already defined. And this is not how life goes. This is not how freedom and happiness and consciousness goes. Things change anyway. Life is changed constantly, and you know that. It's constant change. So the trouble is that we refuse the change. We have ideas and point of views that block the things because we don't want them to change. We want to maintain them. And that is the problem. So when you want to change something, actually what you have to do is just allow it to change. And to allow it to change, you actually can do this space thing, just put more space and observe it. If you want to control a change, if you put someone in a box, he's not going to evolve, will he? To allow a kid to evolve and to discover his capacity, you need to give him the space for it.
Yes, we have to speak a bit more in details, because what you're talking now is theory. This is theory, and I can ask you many questions about this.
In what is this theory? What is this theory for you? What did you define about that doesn't allow you to acknowledge what it is truly?
Because if we go into the context of our life, for example, we are upset because of some event. Some event happened today. Somebody upset me, and I feel really sad. I have to do something physically, something magical, as I call it. I would do it, and I feel instantly better. That's what I mean.
Okay, so what do you do?
What I do? I remember this old story about the monks, how they sent the boy to bring water from the 5 kilometers, and they told him to keep smiling all the way up, really widely smiling.
Yeah.
You don't have to smile for 5 miles, even 2-3 minutes is enough. If you're very sad, and you make yourself smile.
Well, that's so cool.
And I noticed chemical reaction. Chemical. So
exactly. So what does it create?
It creates chemical reaction. Some brain think that I'm happy, and it's make me a bit better. I feel better.
So it sounds like you it's a way, it's like a way to choose happiness, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, so my question is the following. What taste is your happiness? What taste has your happiness?
When I don't
You
want to
know,
cry, but I want to smile, this would be more happiness to me.
yeah, that's cool. That works, and that's awesome. That is actually not different from what I meant. It's actually it's awesome. It's working. The trouble is most of us, we don't know much. If I tell you, okay, so can you choose to be happy right now? Most of us we say no, because I don't have this, because I don't have that. But the trouble is that we believe we need to have good reasons to be happy. Well, it's the opposite. Every time you try to find a reason to be happy, you actually get less happy. It didn't never happen to everyone to have all the reasons to be happy, but actually we were sad, and that's why we were even, more judging of ourselves. The thing is that we need to have the taste of what it is to be happy for you and today. You need to be curious about the taste it is to be happy. Trouble is, we've been carrying so many years of choosing to have another taste in the mouth, which is suffering.
Yeah.
And the first thing we think in the morning when we get up is, oh, this is the suffering, the taste of my suffering of me yesterday that I have to carry on today. And we lose the curiosity in, oh, what would it taste like to have this freedom right now? Do I actually need anyone or any condition to have that freedom and that taste? To perceive what it is and to feel what it is in my body, to perceive what it is in my consciousness, to actually appreciate things. What taste is my happiness now that I have never tasted before? Because I was too much occupied in the need and the necessity of solving the problems that I love so much to taste of. You know what? We choose only what we like. If you are not happy, it's because you didn't develop your taste of happiness. It's because you don't like it enough. To choose something, you have to like it. You choose only what you like. I'm sorry to say. To choose something, you need to like it. And to like it, you need to have the taste of it. What is the taste of your happiness? Or do you prefer the taste of the problems that you believe you have to solve, and once it will be solved, then you will be happy? It doesn't work because your attention is on the problem, and that's how you create even more problem. And you know that, and even the physicians know how to describe that, molecularly talking. You need to put your attention on what you want to experience, not on what you want to get rid of. Because otherwise, all your perspective is completely depending on what you want to get rid of, which is suffering. So how much do you like suffering? That makes you still choose the taste of it, so that you get distracted from the taste of what you truly desire, that you could just ask for and be curious about now. What taste does it have now? Just now. How does it taste? If I would be happy right now, just if, what if? Play with the what if. Of course, you can use some tricks like smiling. It helps. It's great. Just like also relaxing. I don't know, getting in contact with a tree. Like using nature to just put your bars down and appreciate more. This is wonderful. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it brings to one thing: you choosing it or not. Because you can still be naked in the grass and still think of your travels. You can still be in holidays in a paradise place and still be unhappy. At the end of the day, it's only what you have the taste for that counts, because that is what you will choose. So what is the taste of happiness for you? And every time you've been trying to define what happiness is, that brought you away from this personal, unique, and different taste. What is so different in you that you don't want to acknowledge it? Because if you would acknowledge it, then other people will start to judge you for being different. That's where your happiness is, not in trying to be someone else. Yes, Olya.
Yes, but my happiness sits in the mountains. The only thing I love doing is hiking in the mountains. I would love to
Yeah,
do it all day, every day, and only this.
awesome. So just do it. And when you tell me yes, but you refuse to acknowledge everything that you just get. Actually, when I was saying that, you got some awareness of, oh, yo, yeah, that's talking to me. But when you answer yes, but you actually get rid of everything you've been receiving, which is a pity, because you don't appreciate what you have and what you know when you say yes, but. But what you say anyway, I'm saying but to me now, okay? Just saying that. Be careful what you choose. Be careful the words you use. Be careful, be aware of the thoughts you use, because these define your reality and your experience of life. Be precise of the words and the thoughts you use. This is about you being aware of you, of what you choose. Now, you want to go in the mountains every day? Go in the mountains every day. Do you need to bring your body there? Or can you choose the energy of it?
Hmm.
Are you your body? Are you limited to your body? Or can you be aware of what is on the other side of the earth now? I mean, you're in New Zealand. I'm in Switzerland. Are we together now? Can we be in the same space? Yes or no?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we can. So we are not limited to our bodies, are we?
No, we
So
are not.
you can go into the mountains. You can pull towards you the energy of the mountains. You could just connect and get use of this capacity. Meditation in Tibetan means getting use of, changing habits. Suffering is a habit because we have this taste in mouth and because in mouth, and we have been, educated through that. You need to get rid of suffering to get happy. Fuck no. You don't need to suffer. If you choose to need suffering to get happy, how could you get happy?
Mm.
That means happiness would be depending on suffering.
Yeah.
That means you get free or happy unless only if you suffer. This is upside down. This is bullshit. This is not true for you, I'm sure. Just check. That's the way to never be happy. That's the way to create a happiness which is depending on so many points of view and um, how you call it, conditions
Conditions.
and judgment of what happiness is and what happiness is not. What if you would discover it right away, as if it never happened? And this freshness. Remember when you were a kid, when you were 5 years old, did you actually really take care of what people told you life is? Or did you choose what it is for you, regardless of what other people will think about it?
I was way too brave.
That's
Way too brave.
exactly,
In my childhood was way too brave. It was scary.
exactly,
Everybody was scared.
exactly. That's the thing. You'd better choose to scare others with your presence and the arrogance of being just here and changing the things, which actually is confidence, not arrogance, because you are, and this time, not thinking just about you, because you include people. That's where confidence starts. And this humility, humbleness of really having one's presence and space. And this might be scary for those who don't like space, presence. It's okay, it doesn't matter. They want to believe, they can, or maybe they will change the point of view. But for others, for those who are seekers, for those who are looking for someone who inspired them to choose different, you will be an inspiration and you will be a contribution at this time. Because you will not be afraid of possibilities, but you will frighten the fear of possibilities. Wow, you will impose yourself. Yeah.
I will meditate. I will fly to the mountains in my meditation. Thank you. Great idea.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're
You're
still
welcome.
closed. We're still closed borders, but I would fly there. That would be lovely.
I mean, absolutely. Are we separated? Truly? Or are we doing everything we can to believe we are separated so that we give up on our capacities? Like, excuse me?
Too many
Yeah.
conditioning.
Yeah. So one practical tool also is when you see something that has been limiting you, and see, oh shit, I've been choosing that shit. Oh, okay. Doesn't work for me anymore. So the second part is to choose different from that, right? Those are the two steps of you evolving truly toward what you are and what you're capable of. The first step is acknowledging what you've been choosing that doesn't work anymore for you. And this step requires really honesty with oneself, like truly, without turning around the pot and beating around the bush, but really honest. Oh, I've been choosing this. Oh, it was working at this time, but now it doesn't work anymore. Okay, so I would like to change that. I would like to choose different, but I'm still attached to that. I'm still somehow believing it's true, having the taste of it, having the habit. So how do I change that? The first thing is to get the taste of what you would like to get. The real taste of what you would like to experience. Not, oh, that would be great if I had millions. Yeah, but this is just in your head. You never went to this place where you actually taste what it is to have millions and what you could do with this for the world. What is really the taste that you want to have? You have to choose it. Now, what will help you to choose different is to let go of what has been your past and habitual past. How do you do that?
How? How
First,
would I do that?
Yeah. First is acknowledge. Acknowledge the thing.
Oops.
Once you have yeah, you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, so the first thing is to acknowledge. Acknowledgement is the first step to change and transformation. Nothing will happen if you don't acknowledge what it is for you and what you have done, and that you are the source of whatever you experience. You acknowledge, okay, I've done that. Second step, it's to give space to it in order to observe it, not cling and grasp to it so that it doesn't change, but give some space so that it could evolve. If you want to change anything in your life, you need to allow it to be what it is, not control it so that it becomes what you have set up as an objective.
I have a question here.
Control.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right here. Sorry, I interrupted you now.
Yeah.
But I think it's right
okay.
Here is good place for my question. Say I am okay please. To want something. Let's talk about money, for example. So, but if from my childhood my father always would be talking about money, like, oh, it's okay, it's never enough, or being in debt, it's normal, we're always in debt. This sort of communication, and it's actually recorded in childhood brain. And how you get out of it? I understand it. I understand where it's coming from, but it's still there.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you still give importance to it? Do you still believe you are depending on it?
Sounds like that. It looks like this.
Because you make it significant, and you have been making it significant. And you still follow this belief that it is significant and I depend on it. So what I would like you to do at this time is to acknowledge the fact that you've been choosing that. You've been choosing to make it significant.
Because I love my father? Yeah, but because I love my father.
Because you love your father, exactly. Yes. And so you have a debt to him, actually, to keep his knowledge. Yeah, so that's your choice.
True. This is true.
That's your choice.
It is.
There's something you have chosen because it worked for you, but does it still work for you? No. It doesn't work for you anymore. No. Or it does, but you have to choose. Mm-hmm. If you want to keep it, that's because it works for you. If it doesn't work for you and you want to change, then you have to let it go. And you ask, how can I let it go? But did you really choose to let it go? Or are you still keeping it because in honor of your father?
Good question. Good question.
Yeah, that's the thing. You are the only one who can change things, but it depends just on your taste of things. What is the taste? You want to keep that? They keep it. It's okay. There's no right or wrong. You just choose to have a life depending on that, and it's okay. But if you want to get rid of it, acknowledge that you have chosen it and acknowledge that it doesn't work for you anymore if it does not. And then give the space to it. Allow it to change. Like when you see something in the sky, like a cloud in the sky, and you say, oh, that's an elephant. Okay, so I keep that as an elephant. It's going to be hard to keep it an elephant, is it? Because a few seconds later, it's going to look like a snake, maybe.
True.
That's the thing. If you want to control something, you cannot change it. If you judge something, you cannot change it. If you judge what your father has been giving you and what you have been choosing you to keep it in your mind up to now, if you judge that, it will not change. You cannot change anything that you judge. The only way, and that's what I was saying at the very beginning, the only way to change something is to allow it to change. Not to want it to be something that you have already defined as a result, an objective that will force you to judge it even more and to control it. Someone that you keep like this is not going to evolve and transform himself. He's going to die. He's going to be your puppet. And that's what we do in relationships. The way we communicate also, but that's too advanced now, because otherwise we will change tracks. But you know, this is where it starts to change. You allowing it to be what it is. Giving the space, observing it. First you acknowledge, then you observe. Oh, that's interesting. And as you observe, it is starting to transform itself because you give the space for it. Nothing can change if it has no space to evolve, right?
True.
And at this time, everything, listen well, everything that you believed was yours into it will, if you allow it, dissolve. Why? Because it is changing form, it is changing energy, and then you will see that actually it is not what you had seized of it as an identification of yours, and maybe even you. This is my elephant. This is my creation. Oh, it's gonna stay an elephant. Oh no, shit, it's becoming a snake. Ah. Okay, so I allow it. Actually, now it's a snake. So that means everything I have put on it as being an elephant, as being mine, as being me, is dissolved together with the form itself. So that means you let go of every identification of you've put in it. And that is what we call ego. If you know about this thing, you know, since 1920s, like, because someone decided it's something true, we all believe in that. Okay, but this is just an identification of me having to do something, of me thinking, I think that, so I am that. I do that, so I am that. I feel that, I say that, so I am that. This is the trouble. This is my elephant, and it's not going to be something else. Yes, it is.
Ivan,
and that's where things change, when you allow them to change.
I want to interrupt you. That was very interesting and important to me. I will meditate on this. But I want to ask you a question, very important one, about your mission in the world. What is your mission? How you see it? Okay.
Can I just finish the last part of this tool that I was giving you?
Yes, please.
It's going to take a few seconds. Yeah,
it's fine.
You. Just acknowledge. 1, 2, allow it to be what it is. Allow it to change in the space of your allowance. 3, let go of your grasp that this was mine. And 4, choose different from there. And 5, step aside, step front, discover, be curious of what is after that. Right?
Sounds
acknowledge, good. Allow, let go, choose different, and step forward. And this is how you let go of the choices that doesn't work for you anymore, and you start to be able to be interested and curious about what you could choose different.
Yep.
Okay, so now, I mean, that's a tool.
That's a tool.
My mission, I have no mission. I'm sorry, I have no mission.
Oh, somebody told me that you have a mission.
Inspiration.
You have a mission. Really? Yes. Somebody told me that
Who
you
told you
have.
that?
How many
That's an
people?
interesting point of view. That's an
You.
interesting point of view.
Yes, somebody told me that you have a great mission about how many people you want
Really?
to um, be aware and happier. So millions or more,
Oh yeah.
something like this, in these lines,
Oh well.
along
Well,
that
this is
lines.
okay. Okay. So
Empower.
that's very intimate, but I mean, um, my personal inspiration is to be aware of everything that I can be aware of, to be conscious about everything that one can be conscious of. That's my personal, like, um, engine. Like every day, oh, what can I discover more today? And I mean, yeah, as far as others are concerned, if I could include every sentient being and everything which is conscious on that earth and contributes to allowing it to change and evolve, this would be wonderful. That's what I'm practicing every day. I mean, when I do classes or sessions, we get there and that's how one person changes truly and transform his life or her life. Because most of them are ladies, actually. It seems that ladies are more interested in change and transformation and consciousness. But anyway, how does it get better than that? So, um, yeah. So when you include, the more you can include, the more you will allow yourself to progress and evolve and transform yourself, and start to acknowledge the amazing capacities of transformation that you have, not only for you but for others. So now, if I get this inspiration more to the, how you call it, and then I'll be done. Um, Actuality, what we live today on that earth, like the COVID things and companies,
Yeah.
and all those sufferings and all those ta-da-da. And okay, so all that. So my purpose is to contribute as much as I can today so that tomorrow is possible for us. And I do believe that if you don't choose to be happy, if you don't choose to have pleasure and fun, because that is actually the energy of life and transformation, and if you're still interested in your suffering, even if it is in the idea to get rid of it, it is still interested in your suffering, it doesn't contribute to any future possible, to any possible future. I believe that tomorrow on this earth, wonderful earth, is possible only if more of us are getting interested truly in what is to have pleasure, to be alive and together. When I say pleasure, I mean choosing the happiness like I've been talking about until now. If we continue to get our attention, to put our attention on problems and suffering, we will not be on that earth in 10 years. I'm sorry. And no one will. This earth is gonna shake itself like um, like a horse that you've been keeping into a box for a whole day and gets out and shakes itself. We've been keeping this earth under control for 2,000 years, and now it has to shake in itself. If we don't get more into contact with it, if we don't include more what this earth is for us, if we don't learn how to receive its resources, its energies, its treasures, and when I say the earth, I also say all the people on that earth and animals, etc., and even entities, maybe, if you have any awareness of that, consciousness anyway. If we don't learn how to receive more and include that, it's going to shake us away. And in 10 years, there will be no human appearance living on that place. That's for sure. But the good news is we are more and more. We are numerous now to have this curiosity and ability to change that taste that we had into taste of troubles towards the discovery which is always light, always pleasant, always actually orgasmic of what it is now to be happy now for me, and what is possible if I choose that, and if I include more people than just me, what is possible? Every trouble I have is either because I'm completely obsessed by myself or because I don't want to be aware of something. And actually, it goes together. Because I don't want to be aware of something, I am obsessing myself with myself so that I'm not curious about something else. Trouble is, everything you keep in the dark of your consciousness is actually having control over you. So, who would you like to have control of your experience in your life? Who would you like to actually choose what you may make as an experience of life? Others? Or the parts of your things in your consciousness you don't want to know about? Or your freedom and your capacity to choose? Do you have any other freedom than the capacity to choose? Truly. Can anyone or anything take your freedom to choose from you? You know, I've been close to someone who was called Tenzin Chodrak. He's now passed away since 10 years and more, but he was the personal doctor of the Dalai Lama. So I was living with those people at this time. And actually, I was in retreat with the doctor of the Dalai Lama now, who is the next doctor of the personal doctor of Dalai Lama. He was my friend in retreat. And this guy, this Tenzin Chodrak, he passed 20 plus years in Chinese prison in Tibet, supposedly being tortured in a way you can't even imagine. But no one took from him his freedom to choose what experience he wanted to make out of it. And he, choosing that, have transformed not only his experience of the prison, the jail, but other people too. And even his jailers stopped torturing him, and he actually, as a doctor, healed them. So if someone like that, in this worst condition ever, can still have the freedom to choose what is happiness for him, and by doing so, transform the whole experience, not only of his, but of everyone, I believe you can too. And I must say, I've never seen someone so touchy, so lovely that you were touching him and you were just falling in tears of gratitude. This guy came out of 20 plus years of torture and prison and terrible things, even more luminous, present, encompassing, receiving people, contributing to everything alive, meaning everything on earth. I mean, we are capable of that. We just need to get the taste of it. How would that be? Be curious. Please. How would that be? You have this curiosity. You have this excitement of what else would be possible if you would just dare to be interested by it instead of always be interested by you and trying to be interesting with others or to others, which doesn't make you much interesting at all. Be interested by what is there that you have not yet discovered, and everything will change. I promise you.
This is excellent. Do you want to say some last words to our listeners? This was very powerful story. Very powerful.
Thank you. There would be so much more to say. Don't doubt yourself. When you have a doubt about yourself, acknowledge it as a road sign of a way to travel on a new world. We didn't learn how to ride on this new experience of our universe, our personal universe. When you have a doubt, this is a road sign that doesn't say stop. It says look closer. When you have a doubt of yourself, it means you are getting more conscious about yourself. It's just look behind the doubt. Look what is there. Be curious. Don't judge yourself. This world and everyone is trying to make you judge yourself so that you doubt what you know, so that you endly maybe believe you're insane. No, you're not. You're just different. Be interested by what you know first. What do I know truly? What do I perceive now truly? Not just what do I think, what do I feel? No, what do I perceive? What do I know? Get bigger, please. This earth needs this. If you choose that, if you just have this curiosity and interest, you change the world at this very moment. I swear. And if you choose it once, then you get the taste of it. If you choose it twice, then you get desire for it. And once you have the pleasure on something, you never, never, never give up.
I'll grab
Perseverance is the pleasure to do something. You need to get that pleasure. Otherwise, you will always give up on what is possible.
my cat came to listen to you. I have to grab her. She wants to see you, I think.
Wonderful cat. She doesn't need to. She's receiving. Yeah, that's all about the taste. And so, oh, she's so lovely. I would like to say, hello. Oh, she's so lovely. We have almost, hello. Oh,
She's Musa.
Musa. Beautiful. So this is, please listen again because there was a lot of stuff in that. And please listen to Dr. Dane here when he will, because he is one of the guys who, no, let me be truly honest. He's the one person who actually allowed me to truly get rid of all my mess and allow myself to know what I know and to, choose from there. This guy is wonderful. I've been living with people like, great people on earth all my life. I've been looking for great people. I met great people, like really great people, living with them, working with them, receiving teaching from them, working, etc. But we have now capacities we never had before. And someone like him, I'm talking about Dr. Dane here and others, but someone like him allows you to be interested in you and in what you are truly that you have never acknowledged before. And this is the gift. What you are as different. Yeah. So this was my dedication or thank you to him and so many other people. And see you soon, maybe in online or anywhere if you want to talk more. And yeah, there's so many things we can do together. Just get in touch.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ivan. Thank you.